Xian Ming Master's heart relaxed, and he said coldly, "You don't want to see your beloved girl die either, right? Even if she doesn't die, she would still marry an old eunuch. You don't want to see her being toyed with by an old eunuch, do you? So, be good, understand?" Long Fei said solemnly, "If Yurong dies, you will never have a good life ahead of you. If she dies, you will not be able to cultivate the Emperor's qi. And once your lifespan drops to a certain level, you will slowly die of old age. Even if she marries Zhao Haotian, do you think he would let you cultivate his Emperor's qi? He will bring you into the universal realm. Stop dreaming. Old witch, I am your only hope, understand? The only thing you can do is delay him and wait for me to come back." Long Fei said, solemnly, "Also, I have something to tell you. The thing that I hate the most in this life is threatening me, using the lives of the people around me to threaten me." Long Fei was very angry. It could be said that his rage had reached its peak. If he could, he would have immediately killed Xian Ming Master. However, he did not lose his cool. On the contrary, his heart was abnormally calm. There was only one Transformers on the side of the underground palace, so he had to hurry over. And Yurong, who was being controlled by the Xian Ming Master, would definitely be fine for a while. Xian Ming Master was very clear that Yurong was his only hope. No matter if she cultivated the Emperor's qi or was selected by the Sky Envoy, she could not let Yurong die. Xian Ming Master's gaze tensed up as he said sinisterly, "Kid, aren't you afraid that I'll kill Yurong?" Long Fei admitted, "I'm afraid. I'm very scared." Xian Ming Master said, "Then you still dare to—" Without waiting for her to finish speaking, Long Fei immediately interrupted her and said, "But you are more afraid that she will die." Xian Ming Master's eyes turned sinister. Anger burst forth. And also at this time, Yurong's face suddenly turned scarlet red. Puffed. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Fresh blood splattered at Long Fei's feet. Long Fei's pupils instantly contracted to become eyes as wide as wheat, and his fury grew even more intense. Xian Ming Master said coldly, "You are right. Yurong still cannot die to me, but under the control of my power. As long as she doesn't die, I can make her suffer a lot. I was only giving you a small warning just now. If you dare to step out of the door, even half a step, I'll let her shave your face. You don't want the woman you like to be ugly, right?" Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Xian Ming Master laughed sinisterly. Anger. He was extremely furious. He was so angry that Long Fei was about to go berserk. His teeth were about to shatter. Both of his eyes stared straight at Yurong. The killing intent in his eyes was extremely strong. Xian Ming Master laughed. I said, "Be good and listen to me. Understand?" Ha ha ha. And then the demon god's eyes tightened. The idea moved. Rumble. A loud boom resounded above the demon realm. Soon after, the distant sea of blood churned. A pair of huge blood-red eyes glimmering with red light, and a gigantic monster that looked like a monster from the Western world slowly rose from the sea of blood. All the demon generals in the demonic shrine were shocked. Lord Demon God, this, are we letting him go? This, aren't you giving him face? He is... They were all shocked, speechless, because they never thought that the demonic god would wake this guy up. This was too unbelievable. That enormous demon general moved through the air and heavily crashed into the ground. Boom. The entire demon realm was trembling slightly. With a kick, the demon god stepped out of the demon palace, coldly saying, "Use all of your strength. Remember, you must satisfy Master Long Fei, understand?" The eyes of the giant demon general darkened, and he heavily nodded. And then The summon from the demon Holy General Tower was immediately released onto the huge demon general's body. At this moment, the demon general's body vanished. It was also at this moment that an enormous power from the devil realm burst out from the devil tower. It was incomparably dense and was completely different from the power Xing Tian used last time. Long Fei trembled slightly. Did you not summon Xing Tian? Who is it this time? Don't give me a piece of trash or something. He was not finished. Buzz. A huge demonic figure landed, wearing a tattered cloak with a pair of fleshy wings on its back and a large sword in its hand. He knelt down on one knee and spoke with a devil voice. Lich King pays his respects to the Lord. The most important thing was to find the power of the ancient inheritance so that she could become the new king of hell. It was as if everything was right in front of him. Many people were excited. Many people stared at Boundary. The demon sword descended. Zhao Haotian's eyes turned sinister as he roared, "Ah!" As the black-colored flames surged out, the roars from underground became even louder. Suddenly, Sky Envoy squinted his eyes as he smiled and flicked his finger. Buzz. A hum came from the Boundary. A fluorescent light flashed and surrounded Lich King's body. And at that moment, Sky Envoy gently waved his finger. Buzz. In an instant, the Lich King disappeared. It suddenly disappeared. It was a speed that was hard to imagine. At this moment, the countdown of a dozen seconds left in Long Fei's mind turned into 0. Long Fei was confused. The entire audience was stunned. Zhou Yaozong instantly stood up, his eyes narrowing. How could this be? Everyone quieted down. Many of them rubbed their eyes, unable to react. What happened? What happened just now? What's going on? Didn't a monster use a sword to chop down on us just now? Why did it suddenly disappear? What's with the fluorescence in the Boundary? F***CKME. It was completely a fight between gods. He couldn't understand at all. Was the power just released by the Crown Prince to suddenly make such a huge demon general disappear? Just how strong must that be? He had no idea what was going on. Long Fei's pupils suddenly turned as he stared at the high and mighty Sky Envoy. He knew very well. The only person who could do this was Sky Envoy. Long Fei cursed in his heart. Fuck. The Sky Envoy smiled lightly and said, "The martial competition is about comparing the strength of the martial way and not summoning some trash from another world here." Easily stated. What he wanted to see was Long Fei's power in the martial Dao, not the power to summon it. If Lich King were to kill Zhao Haotian, how would he look at Long Fei's potential? How could he force out the hidden strength in his body? Isn't summoning a type of martial arts power? Long Fei shouted. Sky Envoy laughed blandly. If I say it's not so, then it's not so. I make the decision here. What I say is what. Understand? In the Zhen Wu continent, he was a god. A god. He represented everything. At this time, he didn't want to speak nonsense with the Sky Envoy. This was a world of the powerhouse. Strength was the law. Strength was everything. It was useless to say anything more. Moreover, Long Fei had more important things to do. While he was sick, he had to take his life. Right now, Zhao Haotian was already on his last breath, with only a bit of skin left on the top of his head, and the fact that he couldn't move. He was like a live target, and Zhao Haotian himself was also very suddenly, seeing that the Lich King suddenly disappeared. He also laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha. This also means that the power of the Emperor's Qi is incomparably strong. As long as I am able to break through, I will be able to ascend. She did not move. Seeing Long Fei rush towards her, Xian Ming Master sneered and said, "You roam, what do you think he looks like?" He rushed up without even knowing what he was facing. He sounded brave, but in reality, this is what a brainless person is. Going up is death. Yurong was struggling desperately. He was frantically struggling. He wanted to break through the binding, but it was just useless. Her heart was screaming and crying blood. Long Fei, don't. However, it didn't matter how loud her voice was. Long Fei could simply not hear her. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Xian Ming Master laughed coldly and said with a face full of disdain, "Seems like my chess piece has already been broken. What rubbish!" Long Fei also realized that the problem was serious, but no one attacked the black dragon. The devouring energy inside the boundary was simply not enough to harm him. Why was he hurt? Long Fei did not know what had happened in Shrine. He didn't know that the black dragon's body was on the verge of destruction. Remember, regardless of what happens, you are not to enter the shrine. No matter what happens, you are not to let others know of your past memories. No matter what happens, you are not to open your own memories of the seal. And no matter what happens, you are not to enter the universal realm. In addition, the most important point, when you know everything, you must remember not to take revenge. Boss, you have to remember my words. You have to, 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 you have to. You are the last thing we want to see. After he finished speaking, the black dragon looked at Long Fei with a serious expression. And then his gaze became exceptionally fierce. He stared at Sky Envoy and roared, "Little bitch, go to hell!" It was also in this moment that, wow, another large mouthful of black flame sprayed out, and the aura on his body drastically decreased. Dragon, soul shock wave, break for me. Ding-ling-ling. A clear and melodious voice came out of Long Fei's mind. It was not the voice of a system beep, but the sound of something shattering. At this moment, the dragon soul of the black dragon shattered. At this moment, a ball of black flames rolled out. The boundary had shattered. The boundary's shield had shattered. Great Hall, the entire palace hall, was instantly turned to smithereens. On the throne, the Sky Envoy's face was pale white. He was so scared that he rolled down from the throne, rolling and crawling. From the moment he saw Yorong's cold gaze, the anger in his heart had been constantly squeezed. Now, he finally found a chance. Xian Ming Master couldn't even say a word, could only be ruthlessly crushed by Long Fei. Ding! Exchange successful. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Dragonhead Wolf Teeth Rod. The idea moved. A giant mace appeared in Long Fei's hand, and it was a sinister-looking dragon head. Old Granny, provoking this daddy if I don't teach you a lesson. This daddy here is not Long Fei. Boom. Boom. Both of Long Fei's hands held onto the dragon head wolf-fanged mace as he struck it hard, causing Xian Ming Master to crawl all over the ground while shrieking incessantly. Long Fei did not kill her either. It was a brutal and merciless punishment. Why are you treating your disciple like a pawn? How can your heart be so sinister? Have you King asked your father to marry a eunuch? He is my woman. Do you understand? Long Fei crazily erupted until he finally smashed the top of Xian Ming Master's head with his mace. The mace directly pulled him up, chopping firewood. It hacked down heavily. Bam! Xian Ming Master was lying on the ground. Her entire body was filled with bloody holes. If it was her real body, then she was completely dead. However, even if it was an illusion, Xian Ming Master was still vomiting blood, his face pale. Long Fei stomped his foot on Xian Ming Master's head. You *** king want to continue acting tough for lousy. Chapter 2630. The Three Great Bosses. Chapter 2630. The Three Great Bosses. He was furious. He had never been so angry before. Long Fei kept suppressing the anger in his heart. He wanted to kill Xian Ming Master more than he ever did before. Even if it was just an illusion, he would use his strongest power to kill it. Not to mention, this wasn't his greatest strength. Just you wait. Right now, it is only your shadow. Don't let me find your real face. Otherwise, I will make your death worse than it is now. Boom. Exerting force with his feet, he directly crushed it. The Xian Ming Master let out a ghastly scream as her shadow instantly disappeared, and all her energy disappeared from Yi Yorong's body. The binding vanished. Yi Yorong's body also regained its freedom. Long Fei. Yi Yorong's mind tensed up and immediately shouted out. Long Fei returned to the real face, and the Ghost Emperor's time was over. He smiled lightly and said, I already said, no one can force you to do anything you don't want to. It's fine now. I'm fine. Yi Yorong threw himself into Long Fei's embrace and started to gently sob. Long Fei's body slightly caved in. Yi Yorong thought that Long Fei was injured and immediately asked, What's wrong? Are you hurt? Long Fei said, No, it's just a certain part of you is too big, hitting me so hard my chest hurts. At this moment, Long Fei couldn't help but exclaim once again that Yi Lucian had given his daughter a good name. Yorong. Big. It was really big. Being pushed against the chest, that surging feeling, that kind of impact was too fierce. Yi Yorong rolled his eyes at Long Fei, and then he said with a flushed face, Tonight, I'll bump into you on my bed. Huh. At night. Bed. Long Fei looked as if he had been injected with chicken blood. He became sinister and said, Then it's not you who's going to hit me, hee. Yi Yorong's face flushed red. The surrounding people, especially the men, were all envious and jealous. Right now, Yi Yorong was risking everything he had. Long Fei was her man, and she didn't hide anything. Even in front of so many people, it was the same. She wanted to be herself, to be a free self, to live for no one but her man. Long Fei's mind was filled with fantasies, all sorts of postures. Wow. Gudong. Long Fei swallowed his saliva heavily. He could not hold it in any longer. However, there were a few people who were extremely unhappy when Long Fei and Yi Yorong were hugging each other. Sky Envoy. Although Long Fei summoned out the Ghost Emperor and was able to unleash the power of his realm to the peak realm, surpassing that of an ordinary powerhouse of the true martial emperor, however, he still did not see the type of power that was hidden on Long Fei's body. He still did not see the power of ancient inheritance that he wanted to see. He was in a bad mood. Also, there were even people who were unhappy. Zhao Chongshan. A loud sound echoed out within the underground palace. A beam of light shot into the sky and, in an instant, landed heavily on the ground, directly landing outside the boundary. Seeing Long Fei carrying Yi Yorong and the two's blissful expressions, it was as if Long Fei had seen the dirtiest thing in the world, which made him furious. Damn dog, she is my woman. If I don't kill you today, then I'm not Zhao Chongshan. The voice was deep. It carried an endless amount of power. The entire great hall shook violently. At this moment, the 100 Zhenwu realm all landed behind Zhao Chongshan, their morale increasing. However, his voice was a bit like a mother's. Long Fei glanced at it, and the corner of his mouth slightly curled. Finally, I see you, old eunuch. Just now, your grandson did not make me feel good. You must make me feel good." At the same time, a shrill and furious roar came from another part of the palace. A streak of light also descended. Boom! The black robe enveloped him, and his body began to emit a black, netherworld power as well as a golden light. "Boss, Xian Ming Master." Smoke rose from the top of Xian Ming Master's head as her anger surged, staring at Long Fei, who was inside the boundary. Her voice that sounded like the wailing of ghosts came over. "Little bastard, I will kill you." He gritted his teeth, enunciated every single word, and every single word was laced with killing intent. It was incomparably savage. The entire audience was slightly startled. Zhao Chongshan suddenly rushed forward. He was Junwu Continent's #1 powerhouse, and also the peak of true martial emperor, who could block his attacks. Another elderly woman, dressed in a black robe, was also releasing the power of the Emperor Junwu. Suddenly, 2 such super powerhouse appeared, and they all wanted to kill Long Fei. Why is that? They don't know, but Long Fei was very clear in his heart, and at the same time, he smiled, looking at the golden light emitted by their bodies and the bloody grooves on top of their heads. Long Fei laughed excitedly. "Seems like all the bosses have been gathered." He was slightly surprised, but it was also within Long Fei's expectations. The power in Zhao Haotian's body was Zhao Chongshan. If Zhao Haotian died, and his chance to escape was ruined, Zhao Chongshan would naturally jump out. He had lured out a boss. Xian Ming Master was the same. She couldn't help it, even if the power released from her body was the power of Nether. It was easy for people to discover that she was a descendant of the Ming clan, but she didn't care about that. Right now, she wanted to kill Long Fei. It is worth mentioning, the grooves on their heads were half full. Long Fei's attack just now had caused them some damage. Plus, Sky Envoy, he was also at critical HP. However, his remaining HP was more than Zhao Chongshan's total HP. 3 bosses, the top 3 bosses of Junwu Continent. He was also the person Long Fei wanted to kill the most right now. Long Fei became excited. However, Yurong said worriedly, "Long Fei, they are all at the Emperor Junwu realm. They were only possessing power a moment ago, but now the power of the real face is even stronger than before. Indeed, possessing one's strength, he was unable to unleash too much of it. But the real face was different." Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Don't worry, no matter how strong their real face is. It's useless because I still have my big move. Underworld Fire. Yi Jin endured it and didn't use it. They had to wait until the most critical moment. Their HP now, if it was just an Underworld Fire." Long Fei could not hold back anymore. A boss drop. 3 bosses. Especially that Sky Envoy's big boss. Ha ha ha. This time, at least you can make me go to heaven, right? Long Fei was incomparably excited in his heart. Taking a step forward, Long Fei said, "You all want to kill this father, right? Open the boundary. Get rid of all of you." He raised his gaze. Long Fei's finger moved, pointing at the Sky Envoy on the stairs. He sneered, "You two? Arrogant, arrogant, too arrogant, 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 arrogant to the point of being a complete mess." The entire audience calmed down as the temperature dropped drastically. Everyone was looking at Long Fei. The killing intent in Zhao Chongshan's eyes became cold. The killing intent in Xian Ming Master's eyes also became cold. Sky Envoy squinted. At this moment, killing intent soared to the heavens. Chapter 2631. The older and the stronger the poison. Chapter 2631. The older and the stronger the poison. 3 bosses, 2 at half HP, and 1 at critical HP. Temptation. It was too tempting. This was even more enticing than a bunch of gorgeous beauties wearing all sorts of uniforms. Gudong. Long Fei swallowed hard. There's only one chance. Even if I have to risk my life, I will kill you today. Killing these three bosses. Zhan Wu continent must have cleared it, right? Ha ha. Long Fei could not hold back. He knew that the three bosses would not be able to hold it in. Zhao Chongshan wanted to kill him, but Qianming Master hated him to the point that his teeth itched so much that he wanted to kill him as well. Just now, the black dragon had caused him so much embarrassment. In his heart, he probably wanted to kill him even more, right? Long Fei smiled slightly and said, Come do me. Let's see who can kill who. Long Fei was still arrogant. Zhao Chongshan could not help but shout out, Little bastard, let's see how long you can continue being so arrogant for. Long Fei said, Damn eunuch, come in and screw me. Come on. Come the F***K. The rage was raging. Zhao Chongshan had lived for several hundred years, but by right, he was already very resolute. But when he saw Long Fei's lowly and arrogant expression, he could not hold back. And then Zhao Chongshan's gaze turned and said to the Sky Envoy, Master, let me enter the boundary. I want to kill him. Sky Envoy looked at Long Fei, who was inside the boundary. He had not seen what he wanted to see. Glancing at Zhao Chongshan, he said faintly, Just nice. Then I'll let you in. Also at the same time, Long Fei lowered his voice and said, When the great gates of boundary open later, I'll send you out. After that, you don't need to care about anything else, and you can go to the underground palace to meet up with Vajra. Yorong's eyes grew serious, and he asked, What about you? Long Fei said, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. You just have to leave the palace. Also, you have to be careful of one person, Zhou Yaozong. The million-strong army had already entered the divine capital, and the Zhou family's master. The experts of the Zhou family were still lurking around. Although they were not as powerful as the Zhao family, once Zhao Chongshan fell, the Zhou family would take advantage of their power and rise. The sandpiper and clam fight over the profits. It was very obvious that Zhou Yaozong was comparable to this fisherman. Long Fei's gaze was locked tightly as he placed one hand on Yorong's back. As long as the main door of the boundary opened, he would immediately send Yorong out. However, just as Sky Envoy wanted to open the boundary's door, Qianming Master suddenly jumped out. Stepping forward, he said, Master, since he cannot leave, why not let him fight with Yorong? Only the one who wins can survive. The most poisonous thing was the woman's heart. The older they were, the more poisonous they became. No matter what, the person inside is his own granddaughter. Did she really wish for her granddaughter to die inside? Zhao Chongshan trembled slightly and immediately said, This suggestion is not bad. Let them fight inside. Only those who are still alive have the qualifications to come out. Isn't he arrogant? How dare you? Let's see how he can continue acting so arrogantly. Ha ha ha. Zhao Chongshan laughed out loud. When it comes to love and death, the world's most painful thing is also like this, right? Ha ha ha. Little bastard, let's see what you can do. Qianming Master had a cold smile on his face. Looking at Long Fei, who was in the middle of boundary, he said disdainfully, Let's see what tricks you can still play. Little bastard. Hate. I hate it. The Qianming Master hated Long Fei the most. Kill Long Fei. That would be letting him off too easily. She wanted to ruthlessly ravage Long Fei so that he couldn't beg for life or death. Just now, his idea was too hard to bear from Long Fei using the dragon head wolf fanged mace. If she did not take revenge, then she was not Qianming Master. Sky Envoy also laughed faintly. He looked at Long Fei, who was inside boundary, and asked, Did you hear it? You two can only live one. Choose for yourselves. Long Fei tensed up. Yorong's eyes also tensed up as he answered without even thinking, "You live, and I die?" Long Fei immediately asked, "Are you joking?" Xian Ming Master said with a face full of pride, "Little brat, you want to die on your own? Or do you want the woman you love to die? It's hard to choose, right?" "Ha ha ha. Is it painful?" "Kneel down and beg us." Long Fei immediately scolded, "Kneel your ass." Xian Ming Master was not angry. Seeing Long Fei's anger, she became even more proud. "If you don't kneel, the two of you will die inside," Sky Envoy bellowed. "Are you two going to fight? If you don't want to fight, then both of you should die inside." As soon as he finished, Sky Envoy turned his right hand, and a ray of divine light shot down, quickly entering the boundary. The aura inside the boundary suddenly changed, and the devouring force that had just disappeared once again appeared. At this moment, Long Fei only had a little more than 10,000 health points. The Spring of Life was unable to recover, now that he didn't have the protection of the Black Dragon. The power of devouring in the boundary would make his health point drop rapidly. He would die. More than 10,000 health points could do nothing about it. Boom. Rumble. Rumble. The powerful energy in the boundary began to fluctuate. Yorong immediately stood to the side to protect Long Fei and asked, "What do we do?" "Long Fei, kill me." This array boundary was simply too strong. It was simply impossible to break through. Furthermore, the anaphasic force inside was extremely powerful, so it was impossible for the two of them to hold on for long. They would all die in there. As for two of them dying, it was better than one of them dying. Long Fei said, "Don't be foolish. Even if I die, it will be me. How can I let my woman die in front of me?" But Yorong's face tensed up. Long Fei interrupted him and said, "There's no but." His eyes moved slightly as he looked at Yu Wanshan, who was outside the boundary. Yu Wanshan nodded lightly. Long Fei took a step forward and directly pointed at Zhao Chongshan's nose. "Damn eunuch, you don't dare to come in, right? You 2 pustules were taken by me just now. If you enter again, you'll be courting death." Zhao Chongshan laughed. "Brat, what's the use of saying all these if we don't go in? Will you be able to come out?" "Ah, you are about to die. Do you think you can withstand Master Sky Envoy's array power?" Xian Ming Master also laughed with cold contempt. He used to be a trash, but now he's still a trash. "What do you think you can change? You think you can save Yorong? You can't change anything. Ha ha ha. This is your life. This is your trash life. Ha ha ha." Xian Ming Master laughed coldly. Seeing Long Fei within the boundary, she couldn't help but become excited, because Long Fei would soon kneel on the ground and beg for forgiveness. However, at this moment, a person suddenly approached the realm. Yu Wanshan. He used all of his strength to directly crush the space ring that Long Fei gave him. It was also at this time. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. "Can't change what? Hee. I might not be able to change other people's lives, but your life, I will definitely trample it to death." Boom. The Nantian monument soared into the sky. The boundary barrier was like an eggshell. It instantly shattered, and in less than a second, the entire barrier was covered with cracks. It was densely packed. Another second. Boom. Walala. Boundary directly shattered. Fragments of boundary fell down one after another and quickly vanished without a trace. 2 seconds. The array formation released by the Sky Envoy shattered. Rumble. The Nantian monument landed heavily, landing right beside Long Fei. The half of the tombstone was inserted into the ground, causing Long Fei to lean slightly against the Nantian monument. Shock. Surprise. Everyone present stared at Long Fei in shock, as if they were looking at a monster. He looked at the monolith next to him and felt his scalp go numb. What kind of stone is this? What is this? Oh my God, how many treasures does this boy have? First, it is the summoning of the demon world's war generals, the black dragons, and the ghosts. Now, yet another piece of rock that was so strong. This guy? Just how many other treasures does this fellow have? His scalp was truly numb. He released new things over and over again. No heavy sample. I'm just asking you, are you afraid? The space between Sky Envoy's eyebrows tightened. The Zhentian stones is actually erupting with such powerful energy. What exactly is this brat's identity? The Zhentian stones. The #1 divine stone in ancient world. Legend has it that the stone that could suppress the strongest demon in the ancient world. Even the Emperor Xian couldn't control it, so it wasn't possible to use it. However, Long Fei was able to unleash the power of the Zhentian stones. What kind of power was this? Sky Envoy was also extremely shocked in his heart. However, in the next second, the Sky Envoy said sinisterly, "Regardless of your identity, all of your power will be mine." Hee hee. Greed had taken over everything. At this moment, Sky Envoy's name turned from a faint red color to a blood red, all the red turning black. He could make a move at any time. Impossible. Impossible. Zhao Chongshan shook his head, unable to believe what had just happened. Xian Ming Master's eyes turned sinister. The power of Nether on his body surged forward like a huge wave. True martial emperor's pressure rumbled loudly as he charged towards Long Fei like lightning. It was incomparably vicious. So what if we break through the boundary? We still have to die. Xian Ming Master laughed sinisterly. I still can't change it. Yi Yorong's expression tightened and said, Long Fei, be careful. Boom. The power in Yi Yorong's body exploded as an enormous simulacrum of a netherworld phoenix burst out. An incomparably large netherworld phoenix flew towards the top of Long Fei's head. Bitch! Scram to the side. Xian Ming Master was even angrier. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. The killing intent in his eyes became stronger than ever. Damned old granny, I have tolerated you for a long time. Go to hell. He was furious. He couldn't hold it in any longer. 1 second, half a second, the aura on Long Fei's body moved, and the idea entered the Ming clan's seal space. The aura on her body suddenly changed. Super force of Ming clan. Buzz. The aura on Long Fei's body started to change. The ancient inheritance began to surge out crazily. In this instant, the aura around Long Fei instantly enveloped the entire palace and turned it into hell in an instant. Super force of Ming clan. Super force of Ming clan. It's the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. You are the lord who released the super force of Ming clan? Xian Ming Master was confused. He was completely dumbfounded. Her body was shaking. His heart trembled. The fear in her heart soared to the peak. It was even worse than the idea that Long Fei used the dragon-head wolf-fanged mace to hit her. Impossible. Impossible. It can't be you. It definitely can't be yours. Xian Ming Master's voice trembled. This is a feeling that no one can understand. All her life, she had been searching for the Ming clan, searching for the Ming clan's ancient inheritance. But now that the Ming clan's ancient inheritance had appeared, it was actually the trash she had always thought of. It was like a joke. It was such a huge joke that even he was laughing at himself. How funny! The Xian Ming Master let out a fierce howl like a ghost and roared, No, you can't possibly be someone from the Ming clan. You can't be, The powerful force continued to bombard him like crazy. At this moment, Long Fei's eyes moved and coldly spat out a word. Die! Ding! System notification. Target locked. Chapter 2633, Xian Ming Master, die. Chapter 2633, Xian Ming Master, die. Within the Ming clan seal, the power suddenly changed. The power of the second stage. The underworld fire erupted. A ray of purplish-black flames moved. And Long Fei faintly said, "Burn, old demoness." Buzz. The underworld fire was released. An enormous flame enveloped Xian Ming Master. At this moment, the power released by the Xian Ming Master was instantly devoured and disappeared as her entire body fell from the air. Bam! The amount of blood on his head was rapidly decreasing. Xian Ming Master was frantic. "No, no, no, don't kill me." She rolled and crawled until she was in front of Long Fei. Kneeling on the ground, he said, "I'm in the wrong, my lord. I'm in the wrong. Please forgive me. I'm in the wrong. Please, I won't dare any more, my lord. I am a descendant of the Ming clan. I am also a member of the Ming clan. Please spare me." When the underworld fire was released, the Xian Ming Master was helpless to resist. Moreover, she was well aware of what the Ming clan's ancient inheritance power meant, and it meant that it was irreversible. The first person to obtain the power of the Ming clan's ancient inheritance was Pluto. Pluto inherited the superforce of Ming clan's cultivation, but many people could only cultivate the superforce of Ming clan, so they were unable to truly grasp the power of the ancient inheritance. Underworld fire was the second power. This also meant that the Ming clan's ancient inheritance was in Long Fei's hands. In other words, Long Fei is the king of hell. Actually, it was not just Long Fei alone who possessed the Ming clan's inheritance. There was another person who received the Ming clan's legacy, Long Fei's clone, during the Primordial War. Moreover, he did not have as much power as Long Fei's Ming clan, so he had obtained all the treasures left behind in the Chaos Realm. If Long Fei was said to be the king of the underworld, then it would be more accurate to say that his clone was the real king of the underworld. Of course, the premise was that his clone would completely comprehend the powers from the Ming clan's inheritance. The clone never stopped cultivating. However, Long Fei's current memories were blocked by the seal. He simply could not remember having an avatar of himself, and had already the avatar that entered the universal realm. Long Fei looked coldly at the Xian Ming Master that was in pain on the ground, and said, "Now you know your wrongs? What have you been doing? The words you said to me in the Forbidden Grounds. The power of the Zhen Wu realm had crushed your father. Moreover, the words you said yesterday, the things you did to Yurong, you King, had the nerve to beg for mercy? I have never seen a master more vicious than you. Spare you? I'm sorry, I won't spare a single person who deserves to be killed." Long Fei said, fiercely, "Anyone who deserved to be killed must be killed. It doesn't matter who he is." This was Long Fei's principle. At this time, Yurong landed beside Long Fei. When Xian Ming Master saw Yurong, he immediately grabbed onto her, as if he was trying to save his own life. "Yurong, save me. I swear I will never force you to do anything ever again. Make him let me go. I won't dare anymore." Yurong's expression was ice cold. She no longer had this master in her heart. The Xian Ming Master's health point was decreasing more and more. She panicked a little and said anxiously, "Yurong, I'm your granny. You're my own granddaughter. How could you see your grandmother die in front of you? I beg of you, please spare me. Don't you like my granddaughter? Are you going to kill her grandmother?" Suddenly, Long Fei was also shocked by Xian Ming Master's words and looked at him. Yurong said coldly, "My grandmother died when I was very young, and my grandmother dotes on me a lot, so she is the person who loves me the most in the world. She's dead." Xian Ming Master was stunned for a moment, then said, "She didn't die. She didn't die. The one who died was not your granny. I am your real granny, Yurong. Yurong enunciated each word clearly. My grandmother is already dead. You were the one who told me. Xian Ming Master was trembling. The things that he had done, she really regretted it now. If Yurong had known from the beginning that he was her biological grandmother, perhaps everything would have been different. Maybe, since she could obtain the super force of Ming clan, there was no need to go to God's sect gathering. Why? Why? Xian Ming Master roared in his heart, his incomparably sinister eyes staring straight at Long Fei, his hatred soaring to the skies. All of this was because of Long Fei. All of this was because of the appearance of this person. Then, Xian Ming Master looked at Sky Envoy and said, Lord, please save me. Lord, please save me. I am willing to do anything for you. And, Lord, I know that the tomb of the Ming clan's war god, Ming Long, was there before. If you save me, I'll tell you everything. He really wanted to live. He did not hesitate to betray his ancestors. Of course, ancestors were only used to betray and trample on people like her. However, Sky Envoy smiled and said, not interested. Ever since Long Fei released the underworld fire, the Sky Envoy's eyes released a gold light. No one knew how excited he was. We've finally arrived. We're finally here. I told you that he has the power of the ancient inheritance in his body. Ha ha ha. My guess is right. I'm going to hit the jackpot. I'm going to become someone with inherited powers. Ha ha ha. I am going to become the ruler of one side of the universal realm. Sky Envoy's eyes shone with a golden light, the same expression as when Long Fei saw the boss. In his eyes, Long Fei was also a boss. Seeing the iciness in Sky Envoy's eyes, Xian Ming Master crawled in front of Zhao Chongshan and said, Save me. Use your dragon bloodline emperor's qi to save me. Zhao Chongshan was ice cold and did not even have the intention to look at the Xian Ming Master. At this moment, his heart was also faintly trembling, because he knew what the power of the ancient inheritance meant. This meant that a tiny bit could cause him to die 100,000 times. Even now, he couldn't protect himself anymore. So how could he save others? Moreover, he had no idea how to save them. The underworld fire was burning, and no one could save them. Xian Ming Master's body slowly shrank. The health point above his head had already bottomed out. After begging for a whole round, no one was able to save her. Even the elders of the Ming claness who were hiding at the side silently stood at the side with no intention of saving her. Xian Ming Master stared at Long Fei and said, It's you, you dog. I'm going to die with you. The Xian Ming Master threw himself at him like a madman. But before she could stand up and fall to the ground, she couldn't even stand properly. All the strength in his body had been completely devoured by the underworld fire. Long Fei said coldly, There's no point in acting like this. Old witch, this is your life. Explode for me. Boom. When the underworld fire gushed out, its shriveled body directly ruptured, just like a black coal that cracked. It was also at this time the system sounded out. Ding. Long Fei smirked. The first boss, go dry. Next, his gaze turned, locking onto Zhao Chongshan. Do you think you can see through me? You think you can see through me? Xian Ming Master fell. The state of death was extremely miserable. There was not a trace of sympathy in Long Fei's eyes. If he could, he wanted Xian Ming Master to die a more miserable death. Because hatred. Because everything that the Xian Ming Master had done to Yurong made him unable to extinguish the flames even after killing him 10,000 times. It didn't matter if she touched him. However, the person who touched his woman did not believe it. The system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xian Ming Master for gaining 100 million experience, 100 million true chi points, and 100 arrogant god energy value points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Underworld Ling Long. Only one dropped. Long Fei grinned and thought, damn old granny, you're so stingy. Only one item dropped. Isn't that a bit too little? This is one of the 3 bosses, after all. Long Fei opened up the system to take a look. Item: Dark Ling Long attribute. Grade. Description: Ming Clan Sacred Artifact. Description 2. Placed in the designated location will release the power within the exquisite energy. Description 3. Not to be lost, not to be transferred. F***CK. What the hell is this? It would be better if you give me a few holy artifacts to exchange for exchange value. Long Fei was not happy. Luckily, we still have 2 more bosses. There were no more explosions from Xian Ming Master S. As for what exactly is Nether Ling Long, he was too lazy to care. The most important thing, right now, was the drop of a boss. Long Fei looked up and locked his gaze on Zhao Chongshan and said with a slight smile, "Didn't you say just now that I was too arrogant?" Zhao Chongshan's brows tightened, and his body subconsciously trembled as he immediately shook his head. "I never said that. Besides, are you arrogant? You're not arrogant at all. You look too amiable. He's just like an angel." Zhao Chongshan was afraid. His cultivation was stronger than Xian Ming Master's that he could guarantee, but no matter how strong he was, it was useless because Long Fei possessed the power of ancient inheritance, so when a strand of power was released, Xian Ming Master would kneel on the ground like a dog. So what if he was strong? He wasn't a match at all. Long Fei laughed. "Your grandson is stealing my woman, and you are also stealing my woman. I don't dare." "Master, how could I dare to snatch a woman from you? Even if you gave me 10 guts, I wouldn't dare. The palace also has a group of beauties from all clans, and they are all virgins. All of them are yours, and all of them are yours." Zhao Chongshan slowly retreated, his eyes staring straight at Long Fei. Sky Envoy did not save Xian Ming Master just now. Obviously, he wouldn't save him either. What he needed to do now was to escape. Long Fei smiled slightly. "You are truly generous," Zhao Chongshan said. "Master, as long as you say it, I will give you whatever you want. Do you want the throne? Do you want it? All yours, all yours." As long as he could survive, all of this would be for naught, Zhao Chongshan said. "As long as you let me go this time, everything here will be yours." "Long Fei, I apologize for the unhappy things that happened in the past. I apologize," Zhao Chongshan said in a sincere tone. "The Zhao family still has a little strength. If you are willing, my Zhao family will listen to you." Long Fei grinned. "Are you as obedient as a dog?" Zhao Chongshan's gaze tensed up. He gritted his teeth and said, "Be as obedient as a dog." "Ha ha ha. An old eunuch like you really can endure more than an old demoness just for the sake of living." Long Fei sneered. "You even dare to cut off your lifeline. Why are you afraid of death? What's the point of telling me about you, a damn transvestite?" Long Fei approached her step by step. At the same time, in his mind, he was also paying attention to the cool down of the underworld fire. A little more time. But Zhao Chongshan did not know. He simply did not know what a system was, nor did he know what a cool down meant. He had thought that Long Fei's underworld fire could land on his body at any time. Furthermore, there was no way to dodge it. Long Fei was currently riding on his head. Zhao Chongshan's gaze tightened and said, "Long Fei, what exactly do you want? This is still the Zhao family's territory. I still have 100 behind me. Even if we fight, you won't be able to gain anything. There are still a lot of people from your Xian Yu sect here. Don't push yourself too far. Long Fei laughed. Apologies, I like to push my luck too far. Don't you people usually kneel and kowtow? Today, you and all of your Zhao family members kneel down for me to sing Conquest. Ha ha ha. Zhao Chongshan clenched his fists tightly, the profound spirit qi on his body turning into flames. He had never been so useless in his life. If not because he was afraid of the power on Long Fei's body, would he have had to endure till now? He had long since sent a slap over. But with the powerhouse as his king, he was now a weakling. At this moment, Sky Envoy said coldly, Zhao Chongshan, go up and kill him. Sky Envoy had been silent the entire time, but when he suddenly said this, everyone present was startled, especially Zhao Chongshan. He suddenly became excited. This was a signal. A Sky Envoy would help him signal. Zhao Chongshan looked at Sky Envoy and said, Master, the power of the ancient inheritance on his body. The Sky Envoy laughed coldly and said, the power of the ancient inheritance that he has mastered is still very weak. Moreover, according to his current cultivation, he can only use it once. He already doesn't have any extra power to release the power of the ancient inheritance. So, right now, he is just an ordinary Zhen Wu realm warrior. As soon as he finished, Zhao Chongshan's eyes immediately lit up and he shouted, You dog! You want me to kneel? You want me to sing Conquer? Now, Laozi wants you to kneel on the ground and not be able to stand up. His voice was filled with rage. It was as if everything he said was on fire. The anger was indescribable. And in that instant, the Emperor Zhenwu's realm on Zhao Chongshan's body completely burst forth, surging with unparalleled power as he shouted in a deep voice, Attack! 100 Zhen Wu realm powerhouse surrounded Long Fei in an instant. Kid, let's see how you can act crazy now. Zhao Chongshan said in a heavy voice. Long Fei stared at Sky Envoy, smiled slightly, and said, Did you see through it? Yi Yorong's body immediately moved to Long Fei's side to protect him, and said, What do we do now? Long Fei smiled slightly. Don't worry, just watch from the side. Then, Long Fei stared at Zhao Chongshan again, and laughed coldly. Look, clearly, this daddy is so arrogant. Ding! The underworld fire has finished cooling. Just right. The 150-second cooldown was up. Boom! Long Fei's palm moved. A cluster of purplish-black underworld fire appeared once more. Immediately, Zhao Chongshan was immediately struck dumb, and his body started to tremble rapidly. He looked at the Sky Envoy and said, Master, save me. Ding! System notification. Target locked. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.